I wanted to raise money for this. I did raise the money for this. We were about to close this, and I stood to make over $120,000 just by closing that deal. It was easy because I made a few phone calls because I already had my passive investors ready to go. This guy created a Ponzi scheme, and he took investors for millions of dollars, and I was about to close with him, and I freaking needed that 120 grand. Like, things were tight, and this was my lifeboat. But something in the back of my head said, if anything at all goes wrong on a deal that I raised the money and I knew about that, I could have stopped it. My reputation's gone forever. This isn't something that's really worth it to me.
If you think wealth is about luxury cars, designer jewelry, or exotic vacations, you're in the wrong place. We're not concerned about your net worth, your 401k, or how much debt you have. Our approach is much different because real wealth isn't only about money. It's about freedom. Freedom to work because you want to, not because you have to. Freedom to pursue your purpose, live on passive income, and build a legacy. That freedom starts now. Welcome to the Real Wealth Formula with Brad Hovis, where each episode breaks down the principles, mindset, and practical steps to help you experience financial freedom today. Real talk, real numbers, real freedom. This is the Real Wealth Formula.
This episode is brought to you by Rebiz.com. You've probably seen the same old stuff in your feed. Invest in a franchise, start an ATM route, buy a car wash, launch a vending machine side hustle. Cool ideas, but here's what they don't tell you. The good ones are way too expensive, and the cheap ones barely cash flow. But there's a business model that's quietly producing big paydays as well as monthly income for people working from home, a coffee shop, or even out of their pickup truck. Visit Rebiz.com, that's REIBIZ.com, to see how it all works.
So the question is, how do you raise private money to fund your real estate deals? I'm here with Adam Adams. He's a pro real estate investor. He's been doing this for a long time. So Adam, how do we raise private money to fund our real estate deals?
It's funny. I'll say everybody here, everybody who listens to this probably has heard somebody tell them, if you find a good deal, the money automatically comes. And I can name too many examples with myself and with other people that have lost deals and lost a crazy amount of money, that it just doesn't automatically happen. Just because there's a good deal doesn't mean people are ready to invest. And sometimes if it's that good of a deal, they're scared to invest. So I do it a little bit differently. And instead of just saying, okay, I've got a deal, now I'm going to raise the money, I put finding the deal as the last of 5 steps.
Okay.
Raising the money is the 4th. So I'll go in order for the listener. That way they can take notes and be like, this is how I'm actually going to raise money.
Sure.
And for the record, I've raised millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, okay.
I've raised money for fix and flips and assisted living and self-storage and a lot of apartment buildings. Mm-hmm. We've done deals that the apartment building's $20 million, and so you've got to raise $8 million, and you got to do that within a few weeks. So this is something that's not new to me, but I've learned the hard way that you got to go kind of in a new order. So step 1, for those of you who are writing this down, step 1 is I need to first get educated. I need to know what the heck I'm doing. So if you go out and start doing real estate, you could lose money. And especially if you're raising money from other people, that's terrible because then you're losing their money.
Yes.
I know you have an education, right? You guys do that. Okay. Yeah. You got to start there. No matter what, you got to learn what you're doing, learn how to look at a deal, how to find a deal, etc.
And to cut you off just real quick, the education piece of this is not just how to do the deals. It's also what to avoid with big, scary organizations like the SEC. You can do some things. The SEC does not like it when you lose investors' money. And so starting with the education to figure out what you can say, what you can't say, how you can advertise, how you can't advertise, what type of documentation you need to protect the investor, the consumer, whoever, big deal. So I completely agree with you. Education, step number 1.
Step 2 is now it's time to select the market that you're in. Mm-hmm. One of the big things that a lot of people do is when they're going to find a market or find a deal, they go to wherever the deals are cheap. They go to whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that 100% at all. I want you to find a market that you believe in, that's stable, that to visualize it, it has a tailwind instead of a headwind, something where the jobs are coming up, et cetera. So step 2 is to select your market. Step 3 is where you start building a team. This is where, for example, I did a lot of syndication. That would be raising money for large apartments. So when you're doing that and you're building your team, one of the most important first things to do is to find a property management company way before you go and talk to brokers about a deal, because they're always going to ask you, who's going to manage this? Where's the money going to come from? They're going to ask you these questions. And if you don't have the answers when you talk to the broker, they're never going to send you an actual deal.
I have some questions on that because I've done commercial, I've done apartment, not really apartments, I've done quads and that kind of stuff. I had a hotel, I've had office buildings. I would have thought like actually finding these deals, because there's, I'm a residential guy. There's tons of houses. Like there's what, 1,000 times the amount of houses than you have apartment buildings, right? I would have thought that having that person who's going to help you find that deal is more important.
It makes sense. I hear you, especially when you're doing large apartments.
Yeah.
If you don't have the whole team in place before you look for the deal, you're just going to get laughed out the room. No, you're not going to get a deal if the team's not in place. So let's go to syndication of large apartments. There are different strategies to do. So one of the strategies, if you're doing all of that, is you're going to find something that is a C-class building, and just think A through F. Okay, it's a C-class building, and it's in a B type of neighborhood. So it's a decent neighborhood.
Okay,
this building needs a little bit of renovation. So on average, I've got 100 units. I want to put in $6,000 per unit. It's a very small little thing, a little bit of flooring, a little bit of paint.
$6,000 per unit. Okay. Sounds good.
It's very small.
Yep.
Now you could do 20, 30, 40, even $100,000 per unit, but let's just take this for example. I've got 100 units. I'm going to do $6,000 per unit. That's $600,000 that I've got to put into this building to make it be able to rent at a higher level. I want to find the property management company that has done that before. So if you don't already have your attorney, if you don't already have your property management, if you don't already have everybody on your team, and you go and talk to that broker, the broker will not give you a deal.
That's interesting.
Commercial brokers are some of the richest, wealthiest people on this planet because they might make $1 million or more just by doing one transaction. So if they do 3 that year, they're making really, really good money. They become the best salespeople that you or I probably know of.
Well, that's interesting because in the residential world, brokers, wholesalers, whoever, like it's just about, hey, can you get it to the closing table?
Yeah.
The vetting process seems much more intense in the commercial world. And when I sold my hotel, it was the same thing. Like we went through all these looky-loos, and eventually, my broker was worth every penny that they make because of this situation. So that's how you help find the deal. And step 4 is that's when you're starting to actually raise the capital.
We're raising money.
Okay. All right.
But you're like, how do I raise money? Because I don't even have a deal yet. What am I going to raise money for? And no matter what, it doesn't matter what your strategy is. Let's call it fix and flips. If you are starting to raise money, it's all you got to do is you got to start having conversations with people, and you got to let them know what type of deal that you will do, that you're looking for. Hey, I'm only looking for fix and flips that I want to be able to buy them for somewhere in the range of $200,000 to $300,000. I want to put in $60,000 to $100,000. And the plan is to sell them for $500,000 to $800,000. This is my strategy. So now you can create a webinar, for example. You can say, hey, I'm doing fix and flips. I want to show you the strategy in case you want to be invested in something like this alongside of me. So you host these webinars, or you go have lunch with them, buy them dinner if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't. You go and buy them dinner if you can afford it. Yeah. And you sit down with them and you just show them the strategy. This is the type of deal I'm looking for. They don't come all the time.
The misnomer that a lot of new people, to cut you off real quick, is, newer investors who are trying to raise capital think that you've got to have this deal ready to go before the capital is going to come. And that's just not the truth. People who have capital, who want to invest in real estate, they understand that it's a prudent plan to get your ducks in a row before you actually have a thing to invest in, right?
And the investor, that private money lender, probably wants to start to have a conversation or two with you. They probably want to start seeing what it is that you'll do before they give the money.
Yeah. Have you ever done any market tours with these investors?
I've not specifically done that, but I'll tell you what I did do. I hosted a meetup group for several years before COVID, and I would take people on a tour of like 100-unit complex.
Yeah.
So I was doing deals outside of Colorado. I live in Colorado, but my meetup was in Colorado, and I had a couple of friends who own apartment buildings here in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I would go and ask, hey, can we do a property tour? I want a lot of people to come to your tour. I can show you off. You can teach them what not to do to make sure that they can be successful. So that's what's going on. But what I do is all of the people that came to that tour are interested in being invested in apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Some of them want to be operators, the GP, general partnership.
Yeah.
Others want to be LP. They want to just put capital and do nothing.
Yeah.
So then at the end, I can just reach out to people or talk to them at the next event. I can call them, I can do whatever and say, hey, you came to that property tour. What are your goals with apartment buildings? Is that something you want to get into, or you were just curious? Oh, that's something I want to get into. Oh, that's awesome. What's your plan? Do you want to raise capital to do these? Do you want to operate these? Or do you want to passively invest and just make money? And
that's a good question. So how typically are you structuring the whole offering? Is it because of the way you're doing it? You're getting some debt because you're dealing with large number, $100 million projects. Is that fair to say? Or
one project is going to be between $5 million and $40 million.
$40 million. So you got a $40 million project, and that's the whole kit and caboodle, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking to raise how much private versus using bank loan?
It depends on the economy and interest rates.
Or would you try to
today? You would probably be able to get a loan for around 70, maybe 70%.
Yeah.
The reason why is because commercial they rate how much that's worth and how much they can give you based on the debt service coverage ratio.
Okay.
That means like how much of your monthly payment that goes to me, your lender, is net profit from your cap rate. So how much of that is your net profit? Okay, I'm going to let you have a 12 or a 6 or a 3 or a DSCR, debt service coverage ratio. So I want you to make triple what you're paying me, for example, whatever that lender is.
So is that, so to break down numbers really easily, is that, hey, if on a monthly basis, we're netting $30,000 to make math easy. If we're netting $30,000, your loan payment needs to be $10,000. Is that the way to think about it? Or?
Most banks, most traditional type lending is you want at least to make 1.2% of what you give them.
Right.
If your payment is $10,000 a month, you must at minimum make $12,000 a month. Net $12,000 a month.
On top of your
after all of the other expenses,
including so that's maintenance. That's everybody, so and that's also including the debt service.
So there's something,
or do they care?
There's something called a cap rate.
And Adam, part of the reason why I'm asking a lot of these questions,
I'll explain it
about lending. I've used loans back in in the day when I was the hotel and the office buildings and that kind of stuff. But I haven't used a bank loan since 2016. So all of what I do is just private equity, like private stuff. So it's interesting to go back into the into the lending world.
Do some of these deals with 100% private. It's just easier to get a bank loan. So the debt service coverage ratio.
See, I look at that and I go, it does not seem easier, but anyway.
There's pros and cons to it. The banks are dying to lend money, and they lend money in the tens of millions at a time. And they're happy when they can do that. And the interest rate is way lower.
Okay.
So for the most part, when I work with a private lender, they're probably going to make 10% or more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we might have some that with what's called an IRR, they might end up getting 30%. average return. Anyway, you don't have to pay the bank that much. The bank might only ask for 3, 5, 6, 7%.
PropStream is the most comprehensive and AI-enhanced real estate data provider nationwide. We equip real estate professionals with powerful tools and marketing solutions, helping them make informed decisions and find top leads faster. Visit realwealthformula.com/sponsors for a special link to get a free trial and a ton of goodies only for you, Real Wealth Formula moguls.
So anyway, you secure a loan.
Yep.
Let's call it 75% of the amount. And then you need the down payment, which is 25%. And then you need money in the bank. We'll call that a few more percentages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And finally, you need all of the money that you need in order to make the deal happen. So if we went back and we talked about the $6,000 per unit, that's $600,000 for 100 units. I need at least that $600,000 plus I need the reserve, plus I need X,
the down
plus
payment.
I need Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you raise the 25% and
25% plus
75%. Yeah. So you probably will raise, if your down payment is 25%, you'll raise like 40%. If your down payment was 15%, and that's possible, not as much in the market that we're recording in, because interest rates are higher.
Yeah.
And so debt service coverage ratio is going to be a lot more challenging because your payment to the bank is way higher with just one more percentage point if you're talking about millions of dollars.
So the actual raise from the private people, because that's the question, is how to raise that money from them. Tell me if I'm tracking with you.
Okay.
You're going to go and say, hey, here's the type of model that we're looking for. Here's the type of deal that we're looking for. Here's what we're going for. Here's the market. Here's the team. Here's all the prep work done. Once we find this deal, we need X dollars. We need, in the case of a 40 million.
You're at a really good spot.
Am I? Okay.
And I think that this number works really well regardless of what type of real estate you're raising for.
Okay.
So if you're doing fix and flips, this number works. If you're doing syndication, this number works. The way that it looks is I want to have in commitments, I call them pre-commitments, triple whatever I think I need.
Okay. So if you need $10,000, you want to have 30.
I want $30,000 of people saying, hey, I will definitely invest with you. And if it feels like I can easily do 30 based on people's conversations, then 10's going to be easy.
Then 10's going to be there. Got it.
30 is not going to be easy, by the way. If it feels like 30 is easy, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a third of that what's very, very easy. You've got to get the pre-commitment. So going back, step 1, we get educated. Step 2, we find the market. Step 3, we start building the team. 4, we start having those conversations, letting people know our business model, what we're looking for, and we raise the money. We get pre-commitments. We give them a sample deal.
They're not signing anything.
No.
They're just saying, you get a deal.
Actually, they might sign something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, in some cases, we've had people sign things.
Okay.
So what that is I say it like this. These deals go super fast.
Yes.
So I need to know just if you're committed or not. If you are, just fill this out. And it's like a spreadsheet with people saying how much that they will do. It's all the same. All it is they put their name, they put the amount that they want to invest, call it $100,000. Then they put, yes, I can do it fast enough. And then they just sign it at the end. And then you say, if I've got this filled out, I'll call you first. If not, you might miss out on the deal.
So it's very rudimentary. It's not a big, it's not a binding thing. It's not illegal. It's just
not at all.
It's just something, it's more of a sales psychological I'm in type
I want
situation.
Them to say that I said in my head
that's a good idea.
That I could get this money to you within 2 weeks no matter what.
That's a good idea.
When I say I've got a deal that meets this, they don't come all the time.
Okay.
So when I say, hey, I finally got a deal, it meets all of the qualifications that you and I talked about, I want you to be able to say, yes, I can have the money all in that bank within 2 weeks.
So I've heard other guys, they'll have people do like screenshots of their bank accounts or like their thing. Would you do something like that? Or would you
What do you mean?
I've never done that. But
I give my past investor a bank account.
So you got an investor who says, yeah, I'm in for $200,000 and be like, well, can you send me a screenshot of your bank account so I know you got 200 grand in there, like a proof of funds situation? You're not doing that with them, right?
No, I don't worry about that. It's just
and how you get away from that, because that's an awkward, for that new person. That's an awkward conversation to be like, hey, can I verify that you actually do have 200
What
grand?
I usually do, so for example, I sat down with this guy, somebody else. You ask, how much do you want to put into this deal? They say, whatever makes sense. I'll do 300 grand or whatever. I think that might have been what he said. Then I ask, do you have at least 300 grand? He's like, yeah, we have that.
Yeah.
But I had a funny conversation with this one person that may or may not be who we already talking about. But I was like, okay, do you have $1 million? He's like, yeah. I was like, do you have more than $1 million? He goes, yeah. Do you have $1.5 million? He goes, yeah. And he kept going. I was like, do you have 2 million? And he got, I think, tired of me asking all of these questions, because I was like, dang, this guy's got a lot of money. And he's like, north of that. He essentially shut me up. He's like, whatever you need, I got you. He's been one of our favorite passive investors to work with.
One of the ways this might help you next time you're trying to raise some capital, and the listener, the question I ask is, so that I'm not trying to limit it, right? The question I ask is, how much capital are you looking to place in real estate right now? And an open-ended question. And each one of those areas, how much capital, not money, how much money are you looking to place?
It's funny because when you say money, most, at least Americans, we freeze up.
Correct.
We don't want to talk about money.
That's right.
But if you say capital, it's something liquid. It's something that doesn't feel
personal.
And
I use the word, how much capital are you looking to place, not spend And then in real estate, not in stock, not in whatever.
It's good.
How much capital are you looking to place in real estate right now? It gives them a way to be like, first I want to know, are you able to do it right now? But then secondly,
if you're Mike, you don't have to be like, I've got, I don't even know how much he went because he never told me, but I got like $7 million just waiting.
And the other piece is it makes it so that people can kind of get off the hook. They don't feel like there's a ton of pressure there. And so or
anyone else,
you go and say, how much capital are you looking to place in real estate right now? And his answer may be something like, well, in real estate, 5 million, but I've got an extra 10 million if we need.
Yeah.
Like he'll answer that honestly. So then going back to raising that capital, you're just possibly having them sign, hey, yep, this is a thing, maybe not, just getting some kind of a commitment, some kind of verbal commitment. And then once a deal does come up, that's when you're now, hey, it's game time.
I feel like this is the best time to start calling brokers.
Once you've got commitment from
triple
capital,
what you think you need. So
you're not wasting anybody's time.
Take it to fix and flip.
Yeah.
I want to buy something for around 200. I want to put in around 100. I want to sell it for 600. That's my goal. So I'm going to buy it for 200 and I'm going to put in 100. I need how much? 300 grand. So what my goal is to get 900 grand of pre-commitments before I talk to the brokers.
Okay.
I want maybe 2 or 3 or 4 different lenders to add up to 900,000. And when it gets to that place, or if you're using hard money, then you need less. You get that figured out, and then you go to the real estate broker or the wholesalers and you say, hey, I've got 900,000 that is ready to go. What we're looking for is deals, and we give them whatever the deal should look like, 200,000, 100,000, 600,000. This is the parameters of the deals that we're looking for that we can close. When you have that, we can close super fast. It's all cash. It's all ready to go. Now that broker or that wholesaler or whomever is going to be able to go and find you deals. They're going to be a lot more motivated to work with you because they know you have triple what you even need.
They're ready to go.
If you're going and saying, hey, I want to do some fix and flips, but you haven't raised the money yet, you haven't gotten pre-commitments yet, you're going to cost a lot of brokers a lot of time and money, and they're not going to appreciate that anymore. You've got to get that stuff figured out.
And particularly in the fix and flip world, I'm not buying a lot from brokers. In the commercial world, yes, brokers, that's where it's primarily buying from wholesalers. And if you in any given town you're at, there's a handful of wholesalers there that are doing volume, that are doing really well. You go burn a bridge with a wholesaler because you said you had capital and you don't have capital and you can't close. All of a sudden, all of that deal source is now likely cut off to you. So there's a real problem by not having your ducks in a row before you start trying to get deals. I completely agree with that. Now, where are you finding these investors? Are you golfing with them?
There's been a few ways that we've found investors. One way is we sent letters to the better parts, the better neighborhoods of Denver, for example, Highlands Ranch or Cherry Creek. Or
direct mail.
Yeah, so direct mail. And you have to have some capital to do this, but it's you create an event at like Ruth Chris or some fancy restaurant that's in that area, and you tell them that you're going to teach them about real estate for the first 20 minutes, and then they're going to enjoy the meal, and you're going to leave and be in the other room and be ready for questions if they have any.
Interesting. So wait a second. So you sent direct mail invitations. Yeah. Are you targeting accredited investors?
So
because
you
SEC,
never literally know if somebody is accredited or not accredited.
Correct.
But with the SEC, and the listener who's hearing this is going to have to double and triple check with their own securities attorney, because I'm going to say things from my filter, from everything that I've done and what my attorneys have said over the past 20 years that I've been in real estate. But you'll have to figure it out your way. You're going to have to talk to your person.
Yeah.
For us, we shared on the flyers or the postcards, that this was going to be a free dinner. It was going to be at this date and this time. And it was going to be talking about how you can get involved in real estate investing.
Bingo. Yeah.
And then we go through.
That's an educational event.
We teach about real estate investing, and then we let them know we use I call it social proofing. So in the stories, you might mention a passive investor that worked with you. And so you say, here's a deal that we did. It was 500,000, 5 million, whatever, 50 million,
sure,
whatever your market is. And then you reach out to them and you say, so on this one, I actually had a passive investor come with all the money. So you just tell the story in front of everybody. I actually just had a passive investor put all the money in, and I ran the things. So this is what it looked like. On their side, they put in X amount of money, and they started to get this type of return. At the end, they got this thing to happen. And you really honestly should say that not every deal is the same.
Yeah.
But you can walk through a story.
A case study. Effectively, what you're doing is hosting a educational event where you explain a case study.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. You need to connect. We're sitting here on a show just chopping it up.
Yeah.
You need to connect with a real attorney who's going to keep you out of SEC, because violating the SEC, big deal.
Absolutely. You can never raise money again. Like, you're shut down. And actually, if you mess up syndication, then you lose your entire ownership of that deal. So it can go just to the passive investors. You don't want to mess that stuff up.
No. Have you ever
a trick? Go ahead.
Have you ever had a scenario where potentially losing investor money was a possibility? Have you lost investor money?
Yeah, I've got a good story.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
But I will say, because you were on the raising money part, I will say real quick that in those events, one of the things you can do is just say, hey, what are some reasons you guys want to invest in real estate? Why? Because you get them to say it out loud, and you get to hear them say it from their peers that also live in this fancy neighborhood of Highlands Ranch or whatever.
Or wherever,
Anyway, what are some reasons you want to? Throw them out. Everybody's saying, I want to because of this, because of this, because of this. And that helps a lot for the rest of that meeting. Okay, have I lost money? Yes. I've lost money for myself before, and I got into a sticky situation that I was pretty close to losing a ton of investor money. It's called co-GPing, general partner. Like, one person found the deal, and then other general partners will join them and raise money, raise just equity, and also get a slice of that pie and be able to bring their passive investors into an opportunity. I was doing that with my team, and we found a deal that looked really, really, really good on paper. Now, on my podcast, I sold a podcast a long time ago. In 2019, I sold this podcast that I blew up. And it was one of the top real estate shows back then. And I had a lot of listeners. One of them was one of my passive, well, a lot of them were passive investors, but in particular, one of them was a listener. And we had raised, I think, $500,000 from this guy. On my show, I constantly say that you need to vet every one of the general partners. If you're a passive investor getting into a syndication, you want to look at the different LLCs that might be owning that property, and you want to look at all the owners, and then you want to basically do background checks on them.
Oh, wow.
So that way you know what's up.
If you're an active real estate investor and you're not using FreedomSoft, I got bad news for you. You're getting beat. Beat by other active investors who've been utilizing this CRM software for well over a decade. We're able to close deals faster, more consistently, and with higher margins. So if you're tired of getting beat, go to realwealthformula.com/sponsors and click on the FreedomSoft link. Start doing more deals today.
One of the co-GPs that we wanted to work with, or we thought we were about to work with, I didn't do my research on enough because I believed what everybody else said. So I was naive and just
the referrals of
exactly.
this person's reputation.
Yeah. And there is a lot of people in that space that knew this guy that I'm talking about. And you might have somebody listening to this that does know this guy too. I won't name him by name, but the point being that I wanted to raise money for this. I did raise the money for this. We were about to close this, and I stood to make over $120,000.
Oh, great.
Just by closing that deal. So it was easy because I made a few phone calls because I already had my passive investors ready to go. But this one guy that listens to my show who had committed $500,000 did the research that I told him to do that I didn't do. And he found out that one of the guys that I was working with had some securities violations in the past.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 10 years before, I think it was 1997, maybe 10-ish years before this story is, this guy created a Ponzi scheme, and he took investors for millions of dollars, and I was about to close with him. I was past everything, and I freaking needed that $120,000. Like, things were tight, and this was my lifeboat.
Yeah.
So I get this guy calls me and he says, "Hey, what did you think of when you looked at this LLC that's owned by this LLC that's owned by this LLC that's owned by this one guy who has this securities violation," which is public record, by the way. And I had to be embarrassed. I said, I didn't know that at all. Like, I saw the LLC and then I saw the next LLC, and I was like, okay, I don't want to keep going down this rabbit hole. But my investor did and found that out. And I had raised so much money and I really needed that money. So it came to a place where I had to ask myself, like, everybody else trusts this guy. Should I just trust him? He's done deals. Should I just trust him? But something in the back of my head said, if anything at all goes wrong on a deal that I raised the money, and I knew about that, I could have stopped it. My reputation's gone forever.
Gone.
This isn't something that's really worth it to me. So we backed out of the deal, gave all of our past investors their money back. I said thank you to this one guy. And that podcast that I was telling you about that he was a listener of, I was scared to do this. And I hope this is a good takeaway for your listener. I was super scared to do this because I didn't want to look dumb or naive in any way, especially to my listeners, where I was raising millions of dollars already. But I went and I made a podcast episode about that
this
situation. And
wow.
I was just embarrassed.
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, hey, don't ever do this. This is how it happened. And within a week of that podcast episode going live, I had more phone calls directly from my listeners, which I thought would be, Adam, you're a jerk. I hate you.
Yeah.
Never going to invest with someone like you. But it was actually opposite. I had people say, I've been listening to your podcast for a while. This is the episode that made me know that I can trust you.
That's great.
So it blew me away. So there's interesting story.
That's the authenticity, because you're mentioning about how to raise capital. You're talking about, hey, do direct mail, go to Ruth's Chris, pay for this, do a podcast, whatever. At the end of the day, if you are a person with integrity and you're a person who does what they say that they're going to do, even inside, and I think you'll agree with me, even inside of your own personal network, without having to do marketing, without having to do that kind of stuff, the capital of people that you know that are sitting there saying, wait a second, this person has integrity. They're now starting to do real estate. They've got a plan together. They've developed a team. They've got this market. They're putting, let me potentially give this person some capital to invest in real estate. You would agree that, hey, it's really more character driven
100%
than it is marketing driven.
It's character and personality, and I can resonate with you. For your point, there was this guy, on my Facebook, I post just what I do. I love taking my Jeep out onto Red Rocks, not the Red Rocks amphitheater, but Moab,
You're rolling down to the stage,
So I like taking the Jeep out. I like mountain biking. I like fitness. And I'll put that kind of stuff out on my social media. And I've gotten several people that said, hey, I'm into Jeeping, you're into Jeeping. I could invest with all of these other guys, but you're cool. Like, I like you. You're my type of person.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be anything or anybody that you're not.
Yeah.
Just own who you are. Your past investors will come toward you. And also, I think this is kind of to your point, you can raise a ton of money from your personal network. You don't have to we were raising $6+ million a time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
you were
kind
in
of needed a bigger...
you were in a different level than someone just getting started. You eventually got to that spot.
For the listener, their first $1-ish million will most likely come from friends and family.
One of the ways that we do it is we do a market tour. We go out to the market, we get them into a van, I drive them around the market telling them, here's the places that we want to invest, here's the places we don't want to invest. We had one time where we put together a market tour, and we started with one 15-passenger van, and then it grew to needing 2 15-passenger vans, and then it was larger than that. We needed 30. We had to go get a bus.
Nice.
33 people. I'm taking through the hood of Memphis, right? In and out of these houses that, don't have kitchens, are hoarder houses. And we're like, these are the type of houses we're trying to buy. You want to do that. And frankly, because
do you give all of them gas masks?
We give them gas masks and gloves, and sometimes we got to make sure we have security in the market. But then you go in, and when people see it, feel it, touch it, like it's the authenticity. It's really
there.
This is not the house that we want to buy in this neighborhood, but this is the one that we do, and this is the one that we can't. And now they put the concept of real estate investing into like real life, right? And I think that's one of the easiest ways to raise capital, because there's a lot of people out there who have a 401k or IRA that they can, roll over to a self-directed 401k or IRA and start investing out of real estate. If people don't know how to do that, they can, get a copy of the book. I wrote the book, Roll Over to Retire, so that how they can, learn how to place capital out in their 401k or the IRA and that kind of thing. But is that typically where those funding sources have come from? Is like retirement plans, or is it cash, or is it HELOCs, or where are your investors getting their capital?
It is a big mix. I would say 80-ish% of the money comes from them selling a business or something like that.
Yeah.
The money that they've saved, they've been an engineer their whole life. They've made really good money, but they have not spent anything. They live poorer than someone in college. And those are the people that you don't know how much money they have, because they look like it got 10 cents, but they'll probably have $2 or $3 million just sitting there ready.
Have you read the book Next Door Millionaire?
I haven't read it, but my stepdad has been wanting me to read it for a long time.
Buddy.
It's the guy who has the F-150.
Oh yeah,
right. And
they did a study, and they basically go and say most of the millionaires that are in, number one, they didn't inherit it. They worked their whole life. They don't have. They look like the people that don't have any money. They've got a $40 watch. They don't buy new cars, and all of a sudden, you look at those people, and they've got cash or retirement in the 7 digits on a routine basis. So just because someone is not trying to flash it, most people don't like to flash it, saying how wealthy they are, doesn't mean that they're not sitting on a bunch of cash that can fund real estate deals pretty much. And then not only that, their friends know, they have friends that are in the exact same boat, and it just starts rolling. I'd imagine you got the whole network going for them.
For sure. I would say my past investors that I've loved working with the most, because they had a ton of money and they were comfortable to give it to me, they drove 15-year-old Toyotas and Hondas. Like, those are the people that you're like, they don't look like it, but they
Do you know who Drew McCabe is here in town? He's a 1031 exchange guy.
I've known him. When I had the meetup group, he spoke at the meetup group. I haven't talked to him for at least 6 years.
He used to drive. It was at one point a red Corolla. He got it into almost 300,000 miles range. Nice. It now turned into a pink Corolla because of the sun damage to the actual car. He's a hard money lender too. He does real estate deals and all that kind of stuff. He is very well off. You would never know. He's going to be a guest on the podcast, but I always make fun of him for his Corolla, his pink Corolla.
What's that one? There's this clip, and I don't remember who it is, but they are driving. He's getting interviewed. It's Bill Gates or somebody.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
And he's like, so you are worth such and such $1 billion, and what was it? He was driving in a Honda Accord or a Toyota Corolla or something.
Like that,
a Camry. He's like, and you're driving this? His only answer was, this is a nice car.
It's a perfectly fine car.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It works.
What's with the Honda? This is a perfectly good car.
But most of the guys like that are in that same boat. They're like, they're not trying to flash and shine. Now, eventually Bezos did. He gets a big old yacht, and now he's jacked. He's in. Have you seen pictures of him?
Yeah, I'm intimidated by him now.
Well, you were
not back then.
You're still. I mean, you're a big fitness guy. Yeah. I'm not, clearly. I need to be. You're a big fitness guy, right?
I love it. Yeah, it's something. Short story for anyone listening, because I truly believe that when you do the habits that make you healthy and fit, like working out and eating better, right? Yeah. When you're doing that on a regular basis, your brain functions better, your energy functions better. It's easier for you to become successful because you think sharper, you act faster, you have more patience, you don't jump to conclusions, you can navigate solutions easier.
So we started this podcast, right?
Yeah. We've been all over the place.
I'm now on video.
Yes.
I see myself and I'm like, I'm a little too husky. Okay. I've got the husky genes going. Adam, what would you, I'm letting you, what would you suggest to someone like me? I'm a driven guy, all that kind of stuff. I make the bad excuses of I'm just too busy. I've got other things going on. I've got things that I want to accomplish. I'll eat crap real quick just to get. I don't know if you've been in a similar scenario before, because you seem to be in good shape.
53 pounds of fat.
Okay.
And then over the last 3.5 years, I've kept my 6-pack and just gained some muscle slowly.
Yeah.
So now I'm 190 pounds with a 6-pack. I was 167. That's when, after I dropped the 53 pounds, I would give my left 167
arm to weigh 190 pounds. Maybe
that would do it.
Maybe that would do it. Yeah, I get a little bit to it. At least it's 30 pounds going towards that. So what would you suggest?
What would you do?
What would you suggest?
I would,
and be brutal. Be honest.
Have you ever?
You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Compound Effect by Darren Hardy?
No. Read that book.
Here's the point of the book. It's that most people, they start with New Year's resolutions. They start with their birthday. They start with the summer. Hey, when the summer comes, I'm going to do this. Hey, when it stops snowing, I'm going to do that. Instead, just make a couple of microscopic things now. For example, one of the things that most humans would benefit from is going on a 10-minute walk after they eat food.
Okay.
That's not hard. You're at your office, you're at your house. Walk for 5 minutes.
Eat your Big Mac and double and McDouble, and then walk 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It's a habit. It's
Okay.
it's the compound effect.
That's okay. That's not
Do
like
something that you can sustain.
okay.
Now, a problem with a lot of the fast food restaurants, and even just almost any restaurant, is they have a ton of calories.
Mhm.
There's really nothing wrong with eating sugars or carbs. There's really nothing wrong with eating fats
Okay.
or even trans fats. There's really nothing wrong with eating proteins. The problem is if you are overeating on the calories, you're in a surplus and you'll just slowly gain. So, and if you want to lose, you just get into a calorie deficit. So the problem with fast food is I went and had this is so embarrassing.
Tell me.
I can eat a lot. So I went to...
Buddy,
can
eat a lot?
Well, let's have a contest.
Oh, no problem.
So I went to like Wendy's and I got those double Baconators, the Baconators.
Yeah.
With 2 patties. And they were on sale. And I wanted to get a lot of protein. So
You got the Baconators?
I got 4 of those.
4 Baconators.
And after I ate them, I went to plug it into my calorie calendar.
Okay.
And I don't remember now. It was like 5,000 calories in just one meal, just one quick meal because of the mayonnaise, the bacon, and 20% meat.
Yeah.
The 20% fat meat.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I'm going to have plenty of protein. This is good. Like, are you kidding me? I ate for 3 days, and I could do that. I could do that easy. Here's the point. It's calorie dense instead of nutrition, like micronutrient dense.
Okay.
So calorie dense is when they pack the calories with sugars and fats. And micronutrient dense is, for example, broccoli. It has almost no calories, but tons of things beneficial to your body.
Yeah.
So if I were somebody who wanted to change their path, I'd go out on a walk, leave for 5 minutes, turn around, come back for 5 minutes. That 10-minute walk after you eat makes a huge difference.
Easy thing.
Anyone can do.
Got it.
Second thing is I would switch some of my calorie-dense foods to nutrient-dense foods.
Okay.
So, for example, what I eat a lot is chicken breast, rice, and broccoli. You don't have to do that to get success, but I think sometimes boring is the easy way to do it. So I'll have like 6 eggs in the morning, usually maybe 8 or 12, but most of the time 6 eggs with some avocado. That'll keep me full for a long, long time. When I need a snack, I'll get yogurt with blueberries and a protein shake, a protein drink mixed into the yogurt.
Okay.
It makes it flavored good.
Okay.
And then I eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. And then I eat lean ground beef with another cruciferous vegetable and a
That's
potato.
a word I've literally never heard of. Cruciferous.
Okay, sorry.
What is cruciferous?
There are some vegetables that I'm trying to think of what Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus. They are leafy greens. That might be the way. That might be the best way to call them. Kale.
Okay.
These vegetables have a ton of like vitamin K and other, beneficial vitamins. But what's interesting is they will make you feel extremely full because they're huge, but they don't have a ton of calories.
Okay.
So you can eat as much as you want. And so this way, I'm always full.
So you
and I always have a 6-pack.
Talking about the 6-pack, which I think, I watched some video where they talked about the number of people with a 6-pack, like percentage wise.
It's like 1%.
It's like 1%.
Yeah.
Right. So good for you. We got a 1%er here. You competed, didn't you?
That's right.
In like a bodybuilding thing.
So I lost,
is that what it was?
Yeah. So I lost those 53 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
Got down to 167 for the first time in my whole life. Like when I was a kid, I was really lean, but I didn't have a 6-pack.
Okay.
But at 40 years old, the day before my birthday, I was almost 41. I wanted to have a 6-pack by 40.
Okay.
So at that time I got it, and I'll be 44 now in a couple of weeks. But I got that 6-pack and I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. I would look in the mirror and be like, that's not me. because I was chubby.
Yeah.
I had big love handles and all that kind of stuff. So I just kept walking by the mirror and being like, who is that? It was uncomfortable at first. And as I started to like change my identity, I said, you know what? I'm going to actually get on stage. I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. I've been wanting to do it since I was a kid.
You know, we've been Facebook friends and, you know, acquaintances. And I saw that and I thought to myself,
if this fat kid could look like that.
I thought to myself, there's no way in my existence that was even a thought for me. And then I didn't know.
I swear
but
on my
you did
life, it's available to you. 100%.
But I was looking at you and I go, man, that is actually really admirable that you go and say, you know what, I've got this goal and I, you know, reached it and I did what was, you know, necessary, because that's putting yourself out there big time, right?
Yeah, especially I competed in 3 different types.
Okay.
So I'm more of like what's called, for those who understand this, it's called men's physique. You wear swimsuits, like board shorts. But I wanted to just compete as many different things as I possibly could. And people laughed at me when I was like, yeah, I want to do, you know, classic bodybuilding and stuff. Yeah. So I did all 3, but that means you have to wear 3 different types of shorts. So you got the board shorts, which mine were pink and badass.
Okay.
And then I had these black whatever shorts that were kind of like girls' booty shorts in a way.
Yeah.
And then the last one was like more of like close to a Speedo.
Yeah.
Like
that's the one I saw on
that
Ryan.
one. Luckily, I got on stage like in 9 different events, and 3 of them were in that suit. So by the end, it didn't faze me anymore. But at first, it's like, okay, I've got to go out in front of these people wearing like something that shows the shape and size
of everything.
Yeah. So I did, and I walked away with 8 medals.
You look
out
great,
of 9.
by the way. You did get a medal.
8 medals.
8 medals.
Yeah.
Oh wow, jeez.
And then
is it just for 4-year-olds and up? Is that how they do it?
Some of the ones
or they do it by weight.
They do it by height, weight, class, and age. And at least 3 of those medals were because I was only one of 2 people.
Oh,
so I was. When you're like, I don't know the age, I think it's 40 or something, you are apparently like a geriatric to bodybuilding. So if you're still on stage at 40, then you get a lot less competition, but they like to highlight
I'm a big fan of Brian Shaw. Do you know who Brian Shaw is?
Yeah.
He's the strong man.
Yeah.
So he actually...
Wait, you're the one who has a picture?
Yeah, he just came into the office. Randomly came into the office. I got to meet him and his wife. By the way, his wife is tougher than he is. If you've seen their videos, she's like, they're doing like the cold plunge stuff. They're doing all that stuff, right? I watch him do. He's competing for strength. He just wants to be stronger. He wants to lift more weights. Yeah. Right. I'm the outsider. This is why I'm curious. That's not how you're doing bodybuilding. You're trying to get lean and show muscle, not necessarily get stronger, but in the process, you're getting stronger.
There's
Help me
like 4
understand.
types of exercise, right?
Okay.
One exercise is I want my cardiovascular system to work as well as it can. So I'm going to do like cardio. Next one is I want to be as strong as I can. So you're going to eat a ton of food and you're going to lift heavy, and almost everything's going to be like 1 rep, 3 reps, maybe 5 reps. 5 reps. I don't know how to say that in a better way for
repetition,
everybody, but yeah, I'll repeat the repetition. So that third way would be for functional strength. This is where you're jumping, you're sprinting.
Yeah. That's a CrossFit type stuff.
Yeah. And then the last way would be hypertrophy. This is like to grow your muscles as big as they can show, as big as they can look. Now, if your muscles are big, you're going to be strong. Mm-hmm. But if you're strong, you never know if your muscles are big or not.
Because he doesn't look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He just looks like the world's strongest man.
Yeah. And
quite literally.
He's a freaking giant too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I work out now for bodybuilding. So I'm like,
you're still doing that?
Yeah. Well,
great.
I'm not doing more shows until I'm 50 and then 60.
Oh, okay.
Because when you get your body fat percentage down at 5%, your hormones go kind of crazy.
No kidding.
You don't feel aroused. You don't feel happy. You don't feel energy. So it's not something I care to do a lot. But if I hit it when I'm 50 and then when I'm 60, at least I'll be able to say.
But you do it would do it
healthy.
For the competition.
Yeah.
You're training for that purpose. You're not walking.
Yeah.
Those guys aren't walking around like that.
No. A lot of them, you wouldn't recognize them if they were on their off season. If they're not within 4 months of their next show, they can look chubbier than, the average man.
Awesome.
They're strong. They've got big muscles, but when they drop the fat, they can cut it in 2, 3, 4 months, and then they have a ripped six pack again. So.
Awesome. I'm glad you came on the show. I had these kind of questions. Thanks for answering the question about, raising capital. I know you've done that, and I know that'll help our listeners. It's something that I've done, well and teach in our classes and whatnot. But I knew that would be a big deal, and I wanted to ask you about all those things that I see you posting on social media, and I'm like, this is a guy who's been in my industry, right? And a lot of the guys, just speaking frankly, in our industry, look more like me than look like you.
It can be high stress.
It's high stress situation. Yeah. It's emotional and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to ask you about that area of your life because I was super curious about it.
Here's the thing. Also, I have a fitness business too. I help people get fit.
Entrepreneur,
But this is important because for a lot of people that come to me, they are already a successful business owner, but they're thinking to themselves exactly what you said. I don't know if I have time for that. I've got so many other goals and things. In my experience, when I started to focus on the compound effect and doing small things, my income went from netting $60,000 the year that I was out of shape to $720,000 the very next year. And I went from working closer to 100 hours to working probably that year was 25 hours a week.
What is it? What's the...
Once you are healthier, your gut's healthier, your body is healthier, your brain is also healthier. You become sharper and faster.
You make better decisions? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And
kidding.
And you hire people, it changes everything. So for me, I 12x'd my income.
Wow.
And quartered my efforts.
Dude.
And so we've had tons of clients that we've worked with that say that they tripled, 10x'd or 12x'd their income just from their habits that they were doing prior to the habits that they were doing as they were getting to their fitness, their health, six pack or whatever.
Yeah.
It's real. The way that you look and feel, I'll say in the boardroom and in the bedroom is way better. Way better.
Interesting. So. We'll have to have you. I'll have to have you back on because, the performance side of this is something that I am. You never know when you see the people on internet and social media, whatever, if that's real, if it's legit, whatever. But we've known each other. We've been acquaintances for a long time. Years ago, how you may not even remember, but how you used to run those meetups.
Yeah.
And you would basically hire or recruit the big guns to kind of, or the active guys to kind of come and run those, right? And speak and whatever. So I did several of those and actually raised capital from it, so thank you.
Awesome.
This was years ago, more than a decade ago. It seems like, I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah, I think we started it almost 10 years. Yeah. 10 years ago.
And so I've been an acquaintance with you for a long time, and I've seen the various parts of your evolution, so I can vouch from that from a spectator's perspective of a real life human being, not just someone on a screen. So I'll have to have you come back and just kind of chat about that. But
happy to do it.
Man, I appreciate you answering the question. Thanks for answering some of my more probably more personal questions than you may or may not want to answer. But
all good.
Good, dude. Thanks, buddy, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If something we said hit home for you, drop it in the comments. I read every single one.
Thanks for tuning in to The Real Wealth Formula, hosted by Brad Hovis. If this episode helped you see money and purpose a little differently, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Share with someone who's ready to build real wealth, and keep building the life, purpose, and freedom you were made for. Until next time, keep your goals clear and your wealth real.